I don't think any name in the boating business has quite the same cachet or recognition as Riva. And behind me here is exactly that. This is the new Riva 76 Perseo Super. Now, most of us, when we hear the name Riva, think of the beautiful old mahogany wooden sports boats, very much from the Dolce Vita 1960s era. But they also make, or they now make, a very modern, cutting-edge range of high-performance, super stylish cruisers. Now, the 76 Perseo Super is part of their sports bridge range, so effectively it is a sports cruiser, but it also has a very small outside helm position up top that enables you to soak up the sun whilst you're driving it, but all about retaining those very sleek, low-profile looks. So it's only really a small sports bridge and more an outside helm position. Now, this particular boat starts at about 7.65 million euros ex-VAT, but as well as that famous Riva brand name and cachet and performance, you also get a very stylish, luxurious boat. So we are going to step aboard, show you absolutely everything there is to see, the crew quarters, the engine room, the accommodation, and of course, that famous driving position itself. So let's get on board and take a proper look. Now you can see we've got this beautiful stern transom, all painted in that shiny, metallic, silvery grey look. We've got a matching C-bob on the drop-down hydraulic platform. There is obviously a tender garage underneath that. We can't actually open that here at the show, but you get the idea. Jet tender slides into there. Even some of the deck gear, look at these cleats. You can see there's a Riva logo etched into the middle of that. It's all part of this very polished, sophisticated look. It's all about the style, the looks, the performance. Even here you can see we've got these big stainless steel flare leads leading through to these big cleats, again with the Riva logo embossed on them. We've got controls for all the platform and the tender garage set into the side of this seating unit, and then a really, really big cockpit. There's a nice big hardtop overhang that comes out most of the way towards this seating area. Big, what looks like mahogany table to me. Look at that. Not quite high gloss. They've obviously gone for a slightly more matte finish on this, but once again, even here, you can see the Riva logo inset into that table. Now, really nice white seating area. You're obviously going to need to be a little bit careful. It's such a precious sort of feel to this boat that you're a little bit nervous of actually sitting down or touching anything because it all looks so clean and immaculate. And we've got another seating area opposite here in the other corner, and I really like the way they've done that. It's such a long cockpit. It's very much an outdoor kind of boat, so a really big, spacious cockpit with two separate seating areas. And the way this one is positioned right here under the support for that sports flybridge means it's very nice and sheltered. So you have kind of two separate little seating zones. You've got this one here, you've got the bigger one at the transom where you're obviously likely to set up and maybe have lunch in the open air. And then on this side of the cockpit, you can see we've got an extra helm station. So when you're coming in stern to, you've got throttles and thrusters and engine start and stop with a really clean view over the back. And just look at this. I mean, there's no actual functional role to this. It's just another beautiful element of styling. All it's really doing is providing a little bit of cover and shade for the winch and the cleats underneath, but it's just such a gorgeous example of what Riva does so well. And then the side decks themselves, quite nice and wide. This lovely honey-coloured teak everywhere you go. And you can see that they've actually cut out the bulwarks here so that you get a better view out from inside. Low-level grab rails all round. There's just enough height. These are really at about knee height, but because they're nice and wide, and you've got something to hang on to. So this styling line here cleverly doubles as a handhold. So it's part of the whole look of the boat, but it also means you can put your hands around there and steady yourself if you need to. And as a result, they've kept all the guardrails nice and low. It's all about maintaining that beautiful Riva profile. You can see even the handrail here, they've broken it and made it into a separate spring cleat, so that you need to add an extra spring, you can use that, but from a styling point of view, it all looks like it's part of one integrated handrail. A lovely big socializing space on the foredeck. You can see we've got lockers either side for ropes and fenders and all the boring bits and pieces, but the real focus is on this. We've got a lovely big seating area up here on the bow, very nicely protected. You can see it's sort of inset into the deck head here, big speakers either side, another big sun pad right forward on the foredeck, and all the deck gear is very neatly stowed away. So anchor locker under here, all under the actual teak itself. We've got these beautiful integrated cleats here. See, again with a lovely stainless steel plate so it doesn't rub on the gel coat itself. Lots and lots of cup holders for every possible different size of glass you could ever have. And then running back down the starboard side deck, and you can see what I mean. You see that styling line there is actually just a handrail. It's all one single sheet of glass, so really big windows. But as a styling feature, it needs to be there. Now let's go and have a quick look up on the flybridge. I say flybridge, it's not really a full flybridge. This is very much a sport fly model, so it's really a sports cruiser with a small outside helm station up top. If we climb the staircase, you'll see what I mean. It's a really driver-focused sports bridge. So helm, bang, slap bang in the middle of the whole thing, very much at the center of proceedings. And frankly, if you're buying a Riva, you're buying it for the style and the driving experience. So you want to be numero uno, and there you are. You're absolutely front and center. Absolutely gorgeous Riva helm wheel, very much aping the classic Riva Aquaramas of old. You've got that beautiful turquoise coloured, it's actually a fabric, that it's like a waterproof fabric that feels really evocative to the touch. And then the cool thin diameter stainless steel itself, it all adds to that very special experience. Twin Simrad screens, throttles for the 2-man engines, Humphrey trim tabs, and then a low level windscreen, again to keep that profile as low and sleek and sporty as possible. Now there's that foredeck we've been on earlier. Now either side of the helm seat itself, we've got a chaise longue, one each side, a little curve in there to prop your head up, and then even the grab rail has got a little bit of cushioning around it just to make it that much more comfortable. There's another seat behind it, and a small mini transom bench, and then a lovely big sun pad right at the back. And look at this, I don't know if you can see the carbon fibre weave of the actual carbon fibre material within that beautiful glossy handrail. So there's no glass in here, it's all open. We've got the sat domes at the back and a small tower for the radar just to elevate it a little bit. But very much a stylistic sports bridge rather than a full-length flybridge. Right, let's drop down and have a look inside. So as we come forward here, you can see that there is entrance to the crew cabin. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And then these very angled doors. So normally you just get an absolutely flat vertical door that slides across. On this, it's all about style again. So you have this sharp kink in the door itself, but you can see that whole thing slides across. And then there is a matching window on this side. So you can see that this is currently in the raised position. It's tucked up under the flybridge overhang, but that will also close up so you can have a fully enclosed saloon when you want to. But equally, when you open it all up, there's a very lovely seamless flow through into the indoor area. Now, here we are in the saloon itself, and now you can get an impression of the size of those big windows. We've got a high-low TV on this side. Obviously it's in the raised position at the moment. Very stylish bar area with this silver curved finish on it, white leather surfaces. everything about it just feels absolutely polished and immaculate. Slightly wary of touching anything for fear of leaving a fingerprint or a little patch of sun lotion or whatever it may be. Beautiful light coloured seating, all very stylish and angular. Even here, this sort of doubles as a coffee table and a kind of extra little central seat. But you can see beautiful stainless steel leather top. Nice low-level furniture to maximise the views out. And there you can get a feel for the full height of those windows. You can see there are integrated blinds that drop down if you need a little bit of shade or privacy. But keeping the seat backs nice and low means you can enjoy maximum possible view. Dining area over on this port side. And again, it's all about high contrast. It feels very modern, very masculine, a little bit like a sort of bachelor pad almost. Look at this, again, we've got that lovely stainless steel band wrapping around it, a slightly textured surface, but all about chrome and white and matte black finishes. So look at the ceiling overhead, you've got matte white over here, integrated speakers, and then matte black overhead. Integrated LED strips, and then an opening hatch. I don't know if you can see this, it's not a glass hatch, it is literally an opening hatch that tilts up, and the reason for that is that it acts as a kind of air scoop, so it filters air in through the saloon and just encourages a lovely flow of air through the saloon. So, you know, when you're cruising along at 25 knots or something, it just brings a kind of natural ventilation, so you don't have to rely on the air conditioning. A really focused helm position. Again, very stylised, little belt straps on the back of the seats. That same Riva vertical steering wheel. A couple of big flat seats with integrated Riva logos. And then a simply huge windscreen. I don't know if you can get a feel for how long that is, but that's got to be 10 foot long, that screen. Absolutely vast. Now, 3 touchscreen navigation systems. You can see it's all bespoke Riva, so you've got a lovely image of the boat itself, a profile of it, access to all the commands, so you can check out the genset status, you can check on the batteries, go into navigation mode, the galvanic protection, all beautifully bespoke software for this particular boat. Central companionway leads down to the lower deck, so let's take a look down here. Now, the first thing you come across is a long corridor leading up with cabins off it, but if we turn to starboard, you can see that it's a lower galley, so keeping all the food preparation downstairs, a bit more sort of old school traditional, but it means if you do have crew on board, they can be downstairs getting on with preparations without interrupting the guests at all. We've got all the facilities you need. It's typically modern and futuristic and very clean. We've got white surfaces, totally matte black cupboards. We've got a Bosch oven, Bosch induction hob. Even the fridge is hidden behind this beautiful stainless steel handle. Got a fridge, freezer underneath, cupboards all around. I'm guessing one of these is a dishwasher. There we go, Bosch dishwasher. So everything beautifully, neatly done, tucked away, all very much in the Riva style. And then on the other side, we have access down into the master cabin. So let's see, but just before we get there, you see on this side here, there is an extra access door there, and that goes through to a twin cabin. So we've got one twin cabin over on this side, and of course, we've also got an ensuite bathroom, and that is the bathroom that's going to act as the day heads if you need it, because it's right at the bottom of the stairs. It's not part of the master cabin, it's very much the third or fourth of the guest cabins, so it makes sense for that to be the bathroom that you use if you're just there during the daytime. But then drop down into the master cabin itself, there's a couple of steps down, and check this out. Now that is a proper pad, look at that. Again, all that lovely matte black, stainless steel, big mirrors, subtle lighting, huge windows. You don't really get the full effect of that here indoors at the boat show, but you get the idea. We've got great big windows, opening portholes, Lots of it. This is even a Riva lamp. So Riva do a number of their own little sort of furniture and gifts, if you like, and it's probably hideously expensive, but rather a thing of beauty. Big mirror overhead. Bedside reading lights. Look, even that bed surround, we've got leather on here, stainless steel here, more leather there, all low level. Very, very cool. And then the bathroom itself is integrated into the cabin. So although we've got the full width of the boat here, part of the bathroom is actually within the cabin itself. So it's just the sink and some of the storage, and then either side of that, there's separate compartments for the shower. Little knob there to turn and open in, and then totally white, spotless clean shower on one side, and then frosted opaque glass on the other for the toilet. But there's something about it that sort of inspires a slightly hushed reverence. You don't really want to raise your voice because it all feels so calm and quiet and cool. You don't really want to disturb the aura. There's built-in hanging lockers behind there, yet more mirrors. Television in the bulkhead, but again, because it's all black, you barely even notice it's there. So then, coming forward along that central corridor, that leads all the way through to the VIP cabin right in the bow. On this hand side, there is a cupboard for the washer dryer and a bit of linen storage and so on. And then into the VIP cabin in the bow, again, mimics that very high contrast look of the owner's cabin. We've got the matte black surrounds, we've got lockers over the bed, another big mirror up above the bed. Relatively narrow windows, but allowing some light and natural ventilation in. Don't know if you can see because it's all so dark, but those are all lockers there. And rather than being just all black wood, that is a leather panel stitched into that. Lots of detailing all around the bed. You can see that that lifts too. I won't because it's got the coffee cups in place. But all very beautifully done. Again, mirrored wardrobes on either side. Light up when you open them. Black blinds that drop down. Total blackout when you need it at night. There is a hatch overhead allowing some natural light through. And even the LED lights, I don't know if you can see, but there are two separate LED bars and then three little pinpoint lights in the middle. Television set into the bulkhead in its own little matte black frame. And of course, an ensuite bathroom too, tucked into the corner. Absolutely all white, immaculate as ever. Everything is neat and tidy and discreet. Even the shower head, you can see they all slot in and out. Special. There's the taps. I don't even know how to use them. They're so stylish. You've got an overhead rain shower too. It does have its own opening porthole. A mirror. I mean, all of it looks like a sort of specially sculpted work of art. And then as you come back down through the boat, there is the second twin guest cabin here. One bed either side, much the same black and white high contrast look. TV in the bulkhead, another ensuite ensuite bathroom. Very similar, walk-in shower, sink, all the basics. Now as we come back here, I did show you this cabin earlier, but what I've actually heard is that it's unusual to have this set up as a cabin, and I think on this particular case, probably the owners have got young kids, so they quite like to have the children close to them, but you can just have it as a big walk-in wardrobe, and then this whole area becomes part of the owner's cabin. So effectively you get this whole owner's cabin, you get a really big walk-in wardrobe here, and then straight down into the cabin itself. But you can see the idea that if you've got a couple of young kids, that's really nice to keep them close to you. And when it's not being used, you can use it for storage or something else. But you can see that that's got a sliding pocket door that pulls out and shuts it all the way out. Oh, it looks like it's locked down there at the moment, but you get the idea. It's not necessarily just an extra guest cabin. It's very much this particular owner's choice to have it as an additional kids cabin. There we go, and then back up into the saloon. So this is the business end of the boat. This is where the engine room is. It's a hatch, access hatch from the cockpit itself. You can see there's a stainless steel ladder down. We'll drop down there. Not the most comfortable thing on bare feet, must be said. But this is where it's at. So 2 big MAN engines. Believe these are the optional 1800s. I think there's a choice of either 1550 or 1800. The bigger 1800 should give a top speed of around about 37, 38 knots. You can see that the drive comes off. It is a V-drive, so you can see the shaft coming out forward there and then reverses back underneath the boat and out the back there. You can see there's a Seakeeper stabilizer back there. We've got Onan generators on either side. Huge exhausts running out of the boat. There's a water maker, all the fuel filters. But that is a really no-nonsense engine room. Just a pair of whopping great diesels. And this, of course, is the moulding for that jet garage, the jet tender garage. So you can get an idea of how that comes in over the engine bay. And let's have a little look down in the crew cabin. The access is under that flybridge staircase. You can see there is a lid that comes down there and then a swing open door. And again, quite a steep drop down, but at least we've got teak steps on this one. Gives a little bit of extra support. That's quite a narrow gap down. You're not going to want too large a captain on this. And then it is quite a drop down into the crew area. And once you're here, you can see we've got twin bunks over here. We've got all the electric panels and switchgear here, all the breakers, again Riva branded, and there is separate access through into the engine room directly from the crew cabin. So you can see there is a watertight door there that obviously closes up and seals underway, but it does mean that the crew can have direct access without having to go through the cockpit. A little bit of extra storage under there, and then a small bathroom over on the port side. It's a wet room effectively. You can see there is a shower curtain there, so you've got the loo in one corner, shower over in this corner. Pretty basic, but then it is a 76-foot sports boat rather than a heavy-duty cruising machine in which you're going to need dozens of crew to look after all the guests. This is very much if you just need a captain or a crew member to help out. So let's finish up the tour here at the helm of the Riva 76 Perseo Super. It's very rare to get a chance to look round a boat like this, so I hope you've enjoyed this privileged access. I've really enjoyed having a look round myself. Do please let me know what you make of the video and the boat in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.